So the fat mess I am was trying to work out what player review to do next. And then I figured, you know what? I'll go to my old player review, the one I did on Beckham, and see what my wonderful and intelligent, amazing community could say. Robson Kanu isn't even on the game. But I'll tell you what, Kanu is on the game. So let's go give him a player review. So most definitely one of the cheapest heroes that you can get. And I think he might even be the cheapest that you can currently get on the market. Kanu is... He's an interesting player to say the least. Being 6'5", medium work rates, 3-star, obviously doesn't help him massively in that regard. But there were things I definitely liked about this card. I mean, I've got to say, first of all, obviously being a Prem card is always going to be a benefit with the links in which you can produce with this card. And you know what? He had really high finishing. The fact he's 6'5" as well, you definitely notice him in game. He had some decent traits as well. The fact he comes as a centre forward as well, I kind of felt like, yeah, that was probably his best position, being behind the striker and then being able to make those deep lying runs that way and being able to ping passes around. That's actually where I got probably most of my success, realistically, was when he was behind the striker. But at first I had quite a slow start with this Kanu card. It took a wee while for me to kind of get going with him. At first I thought this was going to be a shocking review of when I was going to do. Probably struggle to even get a 1 rating. But after a few games, it did take a few games, I started to kind of click with this player and kind of worked out what worked for him and what didn't work for him, which obviously you've got to do with some players. You know, not every player that you play with, you're going to hit off straight away. So Kanu was one of those players, and I found particularly his biggest highlight obviously being his finishing. His finishing inside the box is really, really good. I did see his dribbling, seeing the dribbling so high, obviously 87. I thought, you know what, surely he's going to be really good at dribbling. But obviously, I think being 6'5" kind of hinders him a little bit in that dribbling. He's got a great league, he's cheap, massive, and he is really good at link up. That was actually one of the biggest things I found is, when I moved him behind the striker, he started to kind of ping some passes around and then started to get some goals and assists basically for me. That was when I started to work. Now, I did try multiple different ways of playing with him. I tried him as like a target man. I tried him with running in behind. He's definitely not fast enough to run in behind. I can tell you that immediately. I mean, most people would have assumed that looking at the card anyway, but sometimes obviously some cards, they seem faster in game. But he's definitely not one of them. His dribbling really wasn't great at all. If I'm being honest, his medium work rates kind of kill the card in many ways as well. From being a striker, he doesn't make runs. I had to really almost spam the LB sometimes to get him to make some runs. It was quite challenging in that regard. But like I said, it did kind of click in some occasions. Once I managed to find ways to get him into the box, which was a struggle, he was finishing a lot of chances. He did finish a variety. The weak foot really was very noticeable in this card. Again, sometimes you get some cards where the weak foot is not noticeable. This is most definitely not one of those cards. His weak foot's awful. The skill moves hindered him quite a bit as well. I'll be honest, if you're getting this card, you're probably getting it because he's a cheap hero, easy links, or you've got him untradeable. I don't see many people looking to buy this card, but yeah, he felt weak as well, which is also a big no-no. When you've got a 6'5" card, you want him to be like a unit. You want him to be able to bully people. You want the physical presence that he should bring to the table. And Kanu just didn't bring that physical presence for me. And I did actually really want to like this card. Like at first, when I first bought him, like my community, I felt like they were all trying to troll me. And as I started to play with him, I did feel like he was getting better, but like, let's face it, this card is not going to be good enough for Weekend League. He's just not. Like, if you're using this card, like I said, you're using them because you probably got them untradeable, you maybe opened up the hero pack that's coming and managed to get them there, or you've just wanted to try out a cheap hero card. I don't see anyone seriously running this Kanu card in their serious setup to try and get the most wins they've ever got in the Weekend League or in Rivals or anything like that. He does have the Trevella trait, by the way, I should add. I had hit and miss results with this. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. But overall, the card is not great. And I think for rating-wise, he's going to have to very much reflect that. The props I can give him, obviously, the fact he's cheap, good links, and he can finish once he's in the box. I think a 4 rating is probably justifiable here. He has some props, but he's just never going to be a serious contender to replace your striker in your team. I think a 4 rating is probably the absolute best that I can give him. But team, do let me know in the comments as well if you think I'm being too harsh or you think I'm being fair in this regard. But also let me know in the comments who you want me to review next as well. I love to kind of get the feedback. Just don't say Robson Kanu. Like, he's not even on the game. Shut it, Chrissy. Anyway, team, I'll catch you in the next one. Look after yourselves. I'll catch you later. Adios. Bye-bye.